I've never played Mario Odyssey before, so 7 years after its release, I've decided to play through it for the first time and reach 100% in the game. To accomplish this, not only do you have to save Princess Peach from a forced marriage with Bowser, but you also need to collect 999 Power Moons, find the regional coins in every kingdom, buy every single outfit, and gather every single capture, soundtrack, souvenir, and sticker. And because I'm a fool with an unhealthy commitment to 100% in games, I also made it a goal to max out every star in Luigi's Balloon World to turn his balloons golden. Also, if you value the life of this frog, perhaps consider subscribing for more 100% videos like this. But before we began, I had something very important to do. Oh, I gotta put my wrist straps on. I don't want to cause an accident. All strapped up, we got right to it in the skies above Peach's castle. Oh my god, straight into the action. Oh my, why is Bowser kind of hot? I didn't say that, don't worry about it. With one vicious hat toss, Bowser absolutely vaulted me off the ship, stomping on my precious hat and flying off with his bride-to-be. Luckily though, the final shredding of my hat was salvaged by this little guy. Is that a Boo wearing a hat? I'm so like I know nothing. On the ground below, we find Mario unconscious, stranded in a mystery place, and as soon as I stood up, the little hat ghost made a run for it. Stop that, you actually are a goblin. Get back here. There's frogs over here and they have little hats too? The other frog is like, please, I beg you, stop. Okay, sorry. I ventured onward, stumbling across a little town, and finally confronted the creature who'd taken my hat scrap. So sorry for running away like that. You startled me. I saw what happened earlier. You've been through quite the ringer. Facts. They explained to me that I'd landed in the Cap Kingdom, and that Bowser had ransacked the place, taking their little sister Tiara in the process. Mamma mia. With this hat's sister to save and my princess to rescue, a partnership to defeat Bowser only seemed natural. Together, our first goal was to reach Top Hat Tower, which housed a spark pylon to the next kingdom over. And as a gesture of goodwill, he used the last shred of my plumber's hat to turn himself into something a bit more familiar. Cappy is now your companion. Cappied up now, I began to explore Cap Kingdom, finding some secret coins behind Bowser's wedding poster, using Cappy to turn on every single light in the kingdom for no discernible reason, and throwing this switch to activate the bridge across, which did not go very well. I did not do that. I did not do that. Second time around though, I successfully crossed the bridge and entered the base of Top Hat Tower, where I encountered my very first capture. I can be a frog? Oh, it's froggin' time, baby. I'm a frog! I hopped my way up the ledges and then ran to the very top of the Top Hat Tower, where I came face to face with the first of the Broodals, Bowser's henchmen slash wedding planners. Going toe to toe with Topper, head of client relations, I simply stomped on his head a couple times, and just like that, he was out cold. That is actually embarrassing. Get different wedding planners, Bowser. And with that simple battle over, we took the power line across and arrived in Cascade Kingdom, where, according to Cappy, there was an old airship lying around. If we could get that thing up and running, we'd have an easy mode of transportation to all the other kingdoms and to Bowser. First things first though, gotta collect the regional coins. As I was doing so, I realized it was possible to capture and slingshot the chain chomps. That's so cool. And using this technique, I was able to hit this rock containing our very first power moon. That's one down, 998 to go. Oh, hello. Is that the next wedding planner? I continued to poke around various nooks and crannies, collecting more purple coins before stumbling across what appeared to be a Cap Kingdom relic. There it is. This is what we're looking for. Looking a bit more rough than I'd expected. Ah, no, it's just an older model. I'm certain it can still fly. By tossing in the power moon we just found, we were able to repair a portion of the sail, but if this thing was ever gonna take flight, we had a lot more moons to collect. This was now priority number 1, but I also wanted to work on my movement skills to make this task easier. Okay, ready? Jump, cap, throw. Go, Mario, go! Go, go, go! No! How do I roll again? There's so many buttons, man. Definitely room for improvement. Can I? Oh, this is sick. So I'm just gonna destroy everything. Destroy it, sir. This, knock it down. With my immense dinosaur power, I broke down the wall and shortly after decimated these burbos with a new technique I created, which entails flailing the Joy-Cons in a haphazard manner and hoping something good happens. If ever I'm in danger, I'm just gonna go and then hope it does the circle spin. With another chain chomp slingshot, I discovered a new area, our first 2D section, where I nabbed our second power moon. And one chain chomp later, I'd opened up the path to our next boss fight. Oh, I'm gonna mess this boss up so bad with my new technique. Madame Brood wasn't just any rabbit though. She was the manager and had 3 whole power moons around her neck, ripe for the taking. Sounds to me like someone wants to be a snack for my adorable chain chompkin. I actually don't. But literally a second into the fight, Mr. Chompkins took took a bite out of me. I was quickly able to capture the golden chain chomp and shoot it back at Madame Brood, using my patent-pending technique to very effectively collect all the coins. Get away from me! Don't you have a wedding to plan? With a third and final slingshot, I defeated Madame Brood and claimed my first multi-moon. And with my 5 moons in the Odyssey, we restored the sail and put in enough fuel to get us to the Sand Kingdom. Cappy even turned himself into a little captain's hat, and together, we took to the skies. En route, Cappy gave me the rundown on the Sand Kingdom, home of the Binding Band, which Bowser aimed to steal for his wedding with Peach. Do I get to marry Peach? Maybe. As we arrived, though, it turned out to be unexpectedly cold. Look at me, just shivering away. Mario's little noises. There were literally chunks of ice in the desert. Clearly, something wasn't right, and the residents of Tostarena Town were feeling the change in temperature. Nevertheless, I made a beeline to the Crazy Cap store just to see what was on sale. Just buy a moon? Wait, but we need this. I always play with no armor in Breath of the Wild, and it's like the Mario equivalent. Okay, the part I don't understand is that Mario is already wearing underwear, right? I mean, I'm assuming. But if that's the case, am I really paying 1,000 coins just to take my clothes off? I couldn't afford such a luxury quite yet, so instead, I purchased a Power Moon for 100 coins and then checked out the other half of the shop dedicated to Tostarena Town exclusives that could only be bought with the region's purple coins. And naturally, I next took some time exploring the area to collect some. Hello! Hello, how can I help you? You ever get lost, you head for that bright glowy light, okay? I'm not lost. I'm exploring with purpose, okay? In my explorations, I happen to find another moon as well as a hidden room. There's a prize in this party room, but to find it, you'll have to feel it. Walk around, feel the rumble, let it move you. I quickly realized after running around for a whole minute that I had controller vibration turned off on my Joy-Cons and could not feel it rumble. Could not let it move me, as it were. So I resorted to the trusty strategy of ground pounding at random and eventually got the moon. After assaulting this bird, I planted one of 3 seeds in the area and then continued my exploration, stumbling upon the Tostarena ruins. And I found a bunch of moons in this area, including one at the top of the round tower. This moon actually introduced a new mechanic where we needed to venture through an obstacle course to collect all the moon shards, and my first attempt did not go as planned. Oh, Mario. Oh, Mario. The second try went much better, but this was nothing compared to the moon shard collecting we'd be doing at the Moai habitat. Basically, when you capture these guys, you can use their special sunglasses to navigate invisible platforms, and upon receiving this moon, I also opened the entrance to the inverted pyramid. No doubt the arena for our next boss fight. But I was having way too much fun exploring, and ultimately, we needed to get a total of 16 moons before we could journey to the next kingdom, so I put my focus on that. I wrangled some sheep, navigated this bullet bill maze, but despite the progress I was making in the moon department, I still couldn't find a way to melt the ice chunks. That doesn't appear to be working. Okay. As I wandered around trying to think of a solution, I stumbled upon a second seed, which I carried back to the Tostarena Town Plaza to plant. And while I'd been away, the first one had actually grown, granting me another moon. Not long after, I also found a third seed on the very edge of the kingdom and plopped that one in a pot as well. So these ones, I'll let them grow and I'll come back. I also saw like a little suspicious area over here that I want to investigate. Through this crawl space, I discovered our penultimate power moon and a new career. Hello? Can I take your order? But after this brief employment at the Crazy Cap, I acquired the last moon we needed, and also a couple more. In total, there's 89 to collect in this kingdom, so I figured it couldn't hurt to get a head start now. I need to stop getting distracted. Peach is like dying. Actually, I'm gonna jump down this hole, so I am so glad that was not death. Maybe this is why it's cold, is because there's ice under here. After navigating this frigid sub-area, I took a pipe to a little Jaxie stand, but instead of employing this Jaxie's services, I straight up just yoinked his life savings. Mario is a terror to local businesses, I'm telling you. But I figured I'd dilly-dallied enough at this point and that it was time to enter the inverted pyramid. This 2D gravity switching section inside was pretty nifty until it wasn't. And with a couple more moons collected on the way, I'd arrived at the top of the pyramid, where I once again came face to face with the wedding planners. Looking for the binding band, chumps. Too bad the boss has it now, and you guys ain't invited to the wedding. I was taken off the guest list. I've known Bowser for years. Exposing Harriet's bare head, I was able to smack her around a bunch and stomp on her noggin, but then her helmet turned into a UFO and started dropping little spiky bombs, which was not on my bingo card. By using her bombs against her, I was able to remove her helmet and land the final blow, defeating my third wedding planner. I mean, if 3 out of my 5 wedding planners got beat up right before the ceremony, ceremony, I'd probably cancel the whole thing. Just saying. Most unexpectedly, though, upon defeating Harriet, the inverted pyramid just went up, leaving a hole in the desert. According to Cappy, it was a lot colder now, but counterintuitively, I had other priorities. Let's get our underwear, our Nike Pros. Draining almost all my life savings, I bought Mario some undies, and in the dead of night, in a desert, during a freakishly icy weather event, Mario marched into the town plaza half naked to check on his potted plants. Very normal behavior. And with these 2 moons collected, I ventured to the hole under the pyramid, kind of recreating that scene where Boba Fett falls into the Sarlacc pit, but if Boba Fett were a half-naked Italian plumber and the pit led to an underground temple with a massive Olmec head lodged in the ceiling. Oh, that seems not good. Now, there are a deceptive amount of similarities between Mario Odyssey and today's sponsor, Dinkum. You like being chased by giant angry creatures? Say no more. There are plenty of predators to hunt after you while you attempt to develop your own little town in the Australian outback. Wary moose, yabalins, I don't even know if that's how you say that. You enjoy farming and tending to plants? Well, guess what? Dinkum has that too. You can start your own farm, tend to unique animals, explore the Australian wilds, and donate all the cool things you find in the museum, and grow your humble little settlement into a fully fledged town. Or you could be like me and become utterly obsessed with scooting around on your little motorcycle and befriending dogs you encounter in the wild. Kinda sounds familiar, to be honest. Oh, this is my dog Creamsicle, by the way, the most precious of little creatures. And if that's not good as is, you can also do all of these awesome things in multiplayer with your friends, too. I've really had so much fun playing this game, and for the first time since the full 1.0 launch, Dinkum is actually running their first sale. So if gallivanting around the land down under sounds like fun, now is your chance to pick it up for 20% off during the Steam Summer Sale. A huge thank you to Crafton for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get back to it. I'm very nervous. That's definitely a boss. Knucklotech did not seem pleased to see me. You take ring? No, it was Bowser. It wasn't me. Despite my pleas of innocence, Knucklotech started slamming its fists down on me, but luckily ended up striking a patch of ice, stunning him and giving me the chance to capture his fist and direct it straight at his face. He tried to chuck ice chunks to deter me, but that didn't stop me from landing another blow. And with one final left hook, I managed to defeat him, destroying the source of the cold front in the Sand Kingdom and earning another multi-moon. As Cappy and I resurfaced, we found that the desert was back to being hot, which meant I was now perfectly dressed for the occasion. With 3 more moons picked up from this oasis area, I offloaded 36 moons into the Odyssey, bringing our total up to 42 and allowing us to head to the next kingdom. This time, we had the choice between Lake Kingdom and Wooded Kingdom, so with over half of my chat choosing Lake, that was where we were headed next, to the shores of Lake Lamode. But waiting for us there was the party of wedding planners who had stolen the Lock Lady dress. Right off the bat, I found an underwater tunnel system containing a secret chest with my first Lake Kingdom moon, but my depleting oxygen levels were quickly becoming an issue. Luckily though, I was able to capture the cheeps in the area, allowing me to explore unhindered by Mario's limited lung capacity. What? You don't find this space appealing? Speaking with this Lock Lady by the dress display window, she told me that to get into the display, I'd need to dress like a swimmer. Thing was, I've been dressed for swimming, baby. Did we just do that on accident? You look ready to swim. Please go inside. Being naked in your Nike Pros is literally just the best plan. Yeah, the dress was definitely gone. With a handful more moons collected, I finally made it to the Water Plaza Terrace, where I was once again confronted by the wedding planners. Chopper and Harriet had done their worst, but this time, we'd be facing off against Rango, who was armed with this wild saw blade hat. Oh, when he throws it, I have to jump on his really tall head? No way. Rango was way too tall to jump on, but I quickly realized I could throw Cappy at his hat, revealing a trampoline that gave me the height to stomp on Rango's head. And with 2 more of these blows, I easily earned our next multi-moon for the Odyssey. Although we had more than enough power moons to travel to the next kingdom, I continued to look around and do more collecting, and maybe had too much fun in the zipper sub area. You spin my head around. But after that little excursion, I powered up the Odyssey and set a course for our next destination, Wooded Kingdom. According to this guide, there's a giant greenhouse there filled with flowers. It's famous for its beautiful soiree bouquet. Bowser is really just taking the most important part of each kingdom with not a thought. As soon as I touched down, I met the steam gardeners, robotic watering cans who were stuck in their aptly named panic and spin routines. So much respect. After all, I have a panic and spin routine of my own. Clearly, Bowser's wedding planners had already passed by, so I got straight to work roaming around the kingdom, collecting the regional coins, and looking for new captures. One of which was this little guy with a pod on his head. Can I capture you? I can! Oh, I'm so long. Using the height boosting abilities of this uproot, I snagged my first and second moons. I wasn't here just to collect moons though, and very soon, I spotted my main target, the Brutals circling the Sky Garden Tower, but before I could even think about how to get there...
No.
Well, we'll see what happens. Deep woods? I guess landing in a dark and mysterious forest is better than death, but I had no clue what was going on here, and the captures in this region weren't exactly enthralling. I am a tree? It can be a rock? What is the point of this? I did find a seed dispenser as I wandered around and planted them in these plots, presumably finding the way out. But now that I was down here, I had to continue exploring. More importantly, I needed to know, if there's a deep woods, is there a deeper woods? This is as deep as it gets, I'm afraid. Oh, and speaking of afraid, oh god, stay away. Now that I knew there was a dinosaur roaming around these parts, I was more than happy to Jack and the Beanstalk my way back up to the regular woods and occupy myself with some less frightening tasks, like chasing this rabbit. Gotcha! Oh my gosh, the panicked throw, it works every time. But there was still a wedding planner to fight and a marriage to stop, so I continued to progress toward the Sky Garden Tower, perhaps a little too haphazardly. Now I'm covered in goo. With Cappy's help, I cleared a path through the poisonous goo, navigated an uproot maze, and stomped on this Chungo Piranha plant, revealing a series of P-switches. These switches activated little leaf bridges, which led me straight to the top of Sky Garden Tower, where the Broodals were already waiting, and would continue waiting. Mario, you must be joking. This is not where I wanted to be. Mario! Imagine being Spewart and just watching Mario in his underwear slowly making his way to the arena and then falling off the edge. What an embarrassment. Eventually, though, I made it back to the fight, but I was already too late. The Broodals had stolen the soiree bouquet, and worse still, Spewart was prepared to take me out by spewing on me, as his name suggests. By skillfully employing my panic and spin routine, I was able to easily stomp on his head 3 times, knocking him out and getting the next multi-moon. But this wasn't the end of our time in the Wooded Kingdom. What is that thing? It looks like a big flower. Before tackling that whole thing, I decided to return to Deep Woods on purpose this time, to see if I could find any more power moons. And after what felt like an eternity brute forcing the stupid pipe puzzle, I bumped into a little coin coffer fellow and used them to grow a tiny money tree. When will it end? Never? I sat there for a while, just shooting coins at this plant until I made a horrifying realization. It's using my coins? How many coins did I even use? So many. We're broke now. 300 coins? And if losing a third of my life savings to grow a plant wasn't bad enough, I soon ran into a familiar character. That man's got a hat on. Oh my god. I can't get away. I can't see. Oh, fall down the pit, please. Oh, I didn't really mean that. Was that it? Did it just like... As Obi-Wan would advise, I took the high ground and from the top of this log was able to capture the T-Rex and thrash around, breaking trees and stones until we found the last moon needed to move on to the next kingdom. Charlie, wanton destruction with a dinosaur is not a healthy response to buyer's remorse. I paid so much money. Do you think that's a moon? One way to find out. I sunk another 200 coins into this baby and eventually, 500 coins later, earned the moon. A treasure made from coins. I hate you. I hate that moon. I'd had quite enough of Deep Woods, so I booked my way up the beanstalk with an intense haste fueled by T-Rex chases and poor financial decisions. There's like another boss at the top of the thingy. We should probably handle that. Evidently, there was a secret flower field that needed protecting, so I valiantly took on this task, capturing and destroying Bowser's tanks before getting completely distracted by this rocket. What's this? Well, beat a launch. Where? I'm in space. Immediately upon my arrival, I promptly dove into the foggy abyss. Not my best moment, but in capturing this Paragoomba, I was able to fly around and collect all the moon shards needed to reach moon number 20 in Wooded Kingdom. And I only continued to find moons as I trekked up the summit path, taking a rocket flower up to what I can only describe as a giant rock-slinging Bowser-themed fidget spinner. But using a captured Sherm tank, I destroyed the 4 arms and revealed the path to the secret flower field, which was admittedly a far more sudden and downward path than I realized. Oh, I really just went right in. Okay. Surviving this incredibly long free fall, I came face to face with a weird flower robot UFO, a torque drift, I guess it's called. And it also doubled as a flying Roomba, sucking up all the flowers in the field. I know it's taking all the flowers, but is there... You could eat this guy. Isn't he like garlicky or something? Unfortunately, the torque drift wasn't interested in a tasty allium treat, so I took matters into my own hands and shoved that little uproot into the torque drift's mouth, incapacitating it. However, this only made the torque drift more angry, and protecting itself with a force field, it began shooting laser beams at me. I desperately destroyed its protective shield and shoved my way into the vacuum once more. This is a strong tomatillo. Let's go. It cannot be right. The way that it's destroying bricks. I am not making enchiladas with this thing. And having successfully defended the secret flower field, I earned yet another multi-moon, which I collected as all the stolen flowers slowly fell back to the ground. I mean, defended is a strong word when the flowers were already sucked up and destroyed, but I need a win, okay? With 30 more power moons deposited into the Odyssey, we were ready to continue our journey to the next kingdom. Let's see what there is to see in the Metro Kingdom. Goodness, what was that? Oh no. Oh no. That's the bouquet. It's so pretty. Oh, and the little piranha plants. Okay, they're kind of good at wedding planning though. It looks cute. Bowser had intercepted our path to Metro Kingdom, and for the first time, I got a good look at Bowser's ship. I see all the stolen things. I see the ring. I see the bouquet. Like, he's looking fierce. Okay, sorry. Let's beat him up. I don't have time for you. I'm busy planning my wedding. Don't you know how stressful that is? You have wedding planners. Mario will never know how stressful that is because every time I try to get married to Princess Peach, my queen, you always steal her. Together, Cappy and I were ready to defeat Bowser and rescue Tiara and Peach, but Bowser had brought along a hat of his own. Stop. Oh, can I wear that? Oh my god, how did I dodge that? I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. I'm honestly, like, understandable. Bowser has a wedding to plan and I'm just being kind of the worst right now. Shoot. It's kind of cool. Yeah, not this time, buddy. Bye. Bowser was not pleased to be bested, with his own hat, no less. So naturally, he escalated the situation a notch and began firing cannonballs at me. Oh, my little undies. No. Was that the Odyssey? It is a blessing that there's no fall damage in the Super Mario universe, because even after falling from cloud height to sea level, I woke up basically unharmed. The Odyssey, on the other hand, was looking rough. We'll need some power moons to fix it. Let's get looking. But it was just my luck that as soon as I started looking around, a klepto vulture flew in and yoinked Cappy, leaving my head sad and barren. Didn't know it was possible to feel any more naked than I already was. I eventually found the klepto with Cappy in beak, and using these seesaw stairs, give me my cap back. I was able to return Cappy to his rightful place on my head. And having Cappy back, I was able to capture these tropical wigglers for the first time and collect some of the harder to reach regional coins, as well as my first couple moons. After acquiring one from Captain Toad in this little cave, we'd already gotten 5 out of the 10 moons we needed to repair the Odyssey. So I pressed on. It got me. Oh, I eventually realized how the trap beetles worked, but I really don't like these guys. Look at those fingers. Thankfully, I didn't have to deal with them much longer as I trucked on and collected a couple more moons. I feel like I'm getting better at maneuvering though. Get it? Don't pay attention to that. To my shock, I stumbled across a Lost Kingdom crazy cap store. Doesn't seem like a good business decision to put a store in a location that is literally forgotten. Not a lot of foot traffic. I figured I'd spend enough time marooned on this forgotten isle, so with more than enough moons, I repaired the ship and continued my course to Metro Kingdom. Naturally, as with every other previous kingdom, New Donk City was not in great shape. There were Bowser and Peach wedding posters plastered everywhere, and hanging out on the top of the Empire State Building was the Mecha Wiggler. And things got even more dire after speaking with Mayor Pauline. Please give me a shirt. Please, Mayor, just a coat. I almost killed the mayor. Capturing this spark pylon, I traveled to the outskirts of New Donk City and immediately found a scooter. Ooh, we're zipping. But for some reason, all the roads were blocked. Oh no! Okay, let's not do that again. How about it? Instead of the scooter, I opted for the Sherm tank, and for but a moment, it was all-out tank warfare in the streets of New Donk City. Then, I spotted the crazy cap store. It seems like not the time. Ew, it's like a real man. With 1 moon purchase, I continued onward into the construction site and found yet another inside the Iron Girder before re-engaging with Bowser's Sherm tanks at the base of the New Donk City Hall. And thus began my ascent up the Empire State Building, the Mecha Wiggler waiting for me at the very top. As I went, I collected any regional coins I found, as well as a moon from the City Hall Lost and Found, which is apparently at the top of this harrowing, extremely unsafe obstacle course. Right. Okay, Pauline. But before long, I reached the rooftop and came face to face with the Mecha Wiggler. Yeah, that's a problem. That thing's trying to suck up all the juice from our city. Oh, it's trying to get the moon juice. I was ready to have like a live-action Percy Jackson-esque showdown above the Empire State Building, but this was cut short when the Mecha Wiggler straight up punted me off the building. I cushioned the fall with with my extremely shock-absorbent and beautiful body, but now it was personal. Using a nearby Sherm tank, I started going absolutely hammy, aiming at the purple segments and destroying the fella. Not only did this earn me another multi-moon, but it also meant that Metro Kingdom was back to normal. First thing, I wanted to enjoy this nice weather by taking on the jump rope challenge, and this quickly took over my life. Okay, now we're in the rhythm. I received a moon upon reaching 30 jumps and even managed to reach 50 jumps. This is my only meaning in life now. Unfortunately though, 50 was the best I could do. I was ready to pour my whole life into this minigame to get to 100 jumps, but I had moons to find and a whole city to explore, so I moved on. I took in a bit of the local music scene, became a traffic pylon to vault myself up a building, and finally spoke with Mayor Pauline, who was grateful for my help and evidently had a surprise for me. You think you could find me 4 backup musicians? Why don't you use your eyes, Pauline? Why don't you turn left, Pauline? The drummer agreed to take the stage, and this sick beat was already enough to get the crowd moving. Oh, he's busting it down! This left 3 more musicians to find somewhere in the city. In my search, I ended up finding this empty alleyway with a single scooter, but given my last experience with the scooter, I figured I'd pass on it for now. Can I go without it? Oh my god! Run, Mario, run! The flailing didn't help us. I'm gonna get on the scooter. Lesson learned. Even with the scooter, I wasn't doing much better. Got hit twice, missed regional coins, but somehow I was able to outspeed the T-Rex to claim my 11th moon before returning to the hunt for musicians. I found the guitarist and the bassist pretty easily, but the trumpeter was definitely a bit harder to reach. My initial attempts at jumping across the gap and climbing the building didn't go so well, but eventually, I used a nearby traffic pylon to slingshot myself there, and just like that, I'd managed to assemble a full band. This was not enough for Mayor Pauline though, and I was next put in charge of the festival's energy supply. Down to the underground power plant I went, and as I investigated, I realized these 2 big piranha plants were gumming up the whole system. With them taken care of, I was able to restore the power to New Donk City, and look at all those moons! You'd think Mayor Pauline could repay me by giving me some of them to reach Bowser, but no. Instead, I'm getting a musical performance. Oh, she's scatting. Also, had to jump over barrels of oil, lit on fire, and kill Donkey Kong. I don't even know how he fits into all this. And only then was I able to join the main event. Like, I thought this festival was for me. Why'd I have to run through a gauntlet of fire to get to my own party? Oh, sorry, Pauline. Thank you again, Mario. I'm dedicating this festival to you. We couldn't have done it without your help. Please accept this as a gift. Seeing the power supply myself, I know New Donk City has a lot more power moons to offer, but still, I settled for this multi-moon as my reward. And with more than enough to continue on our journey, I powered up the Odyssey to 131 moons and headed to Seaside Kingdom. My first look at Bablaine did not disappoint. It was quite beautiful, but the threat was immediately clear. A massive purple octopus with impressive ginger mutton chops and a cute little hat. I'd later find out that his full name is Brigadier Mollusk Lancer III, Dauphin of Bablaine. An impressive specimen. Through speaking with the local snails, I learned that Brigadier Mollusk Lancer III, Dauphin of Bablaine, was sucking up all of the resort's precious sparkle water. Save some for us, you tentacled scoundrel. It wasn't just the octopus I was concerned with, though. On the beach, I noticed a trail of Bowser's footprints leading up to one of the 4 fountains in the area, all of which combined to create sparkle water. Undoubtedly Bowser's drink of choice at his wedding. But the fountains had been sealed shut, leaving the resort with no way to create this magical carbonated beverage. Thus, it was up to me to open them. By capturing the Gushin creatures in this area, I was able to jet around the kingdom, getting my first seaside moon and pressing this button to open the first fountain, simultaneously launching the seal at the octopus. I quickly navigated some underwater tunnels to open the next one, and then painfully stumbled across some pools of lava as I looked for the third. All I wanted to do was be a sprinkler. All right, we are 75% of the way there until we get the LaCroix. One more fountain to go. And after a bit of searching, is that hole for me to go in? Oh, no. I found the last button and sent the 4th and final cork at the octopus's head. Brigadier Mollusk Lancer III, Dauphin of Bablaine, was supremely pissed off, shooting spiky balls at me and somehow landing a perfect shot. Using a trusty Gushin, I boosted myself above him and rained down water, getting rid of the lava, which for some reason prompted the octopus to turn into a cephalopod Beyblade. There may be some casualties to the snail community, but you gotta do what you gotta do for the LaCroix. A couple more passes with the Gushin and some ground pounds to the head, and I had finally defeated him and earned the multi-moon. And with all 4 fountains back on, Seaside Kingdom kingdom was producing its precious sparkle water once again, and I was relaxing, playing some beach volleyball. Actually, deceptively stressful. I was pretty satisfied with 45 volleys and a power moon, so I deposited my spoils into the Odyssey and headed to our next destination, Shiveria. Suffice to say, I was not dressed appropriately for the Snow Kingdom. Brr, let's not dilly-da- Mario, are you good, my man? With no clear path forward, I took the plunge and was probably seconds away from hypothermic shock. We're fine. We're fine. Desperate for a way out of the cold, I did a little lasso line dance and discovered a hole under the snow that dropped me right into Shiveria town, terrifying the local Shiverians. All was forgiven though, as I invested in their local economy and bought myself a new hat. That mustache of yours must keep your face nice and toasty. Yeah, the mustache is doing all the heavy lifting here. We don't really need pants, shirt, none of it. So far, it honestly seemed like the Snow Kingdom hadn't been impacted by Bowser's evil wedding plans. This bubble was quickly burst when a Shiverian told me that Bowser had stolen their most coveted racing prize, the Frost Frosted Cake. Not only that, but he'd also blocked the entrance to their race course, meaning I needed to collect the 4 surrounding power moons before I could enter. I quickly made my way through the hollow crevice to open the first door, defeated Rango again for the second, and then made my way through Windchill Cavern, commandeering a cloud to remove the third, leaving 1 level left, the Icicle Cavern. Careful everyone, the floor is sloppy. By navigating this tall Goomba stack, I'd officially opened up the racetrack for the Bound Bowl Grand Prix. However, they were waiting on 1 racer to start the event, and I found the poor guy hiding in the waiting room. You good? Race. I don't want to. The other racers are too serious. I don't stand a chance. Someone else wanted to race. They would be welcome to take my place. Me. Put me in. I couldn't participate with my normal Mario body, but in capturing the frightened Shiverian, I was in the game, baby. Okay, chill. I'm ready to race. All right, put me in. The Shiverian Elder somehow didn't notice anything weird about my red hat and mustache, meaning the Bound Bowl Grand Prix was underway. And let me just say, a go-kart is one thing, but racing a bouncy spherical seal is a whole nother beast. Oh my god, do you want to die? Do you want to die? I held a solid 4th place position for most of the race, but on the last lap, somehow vaulted myself to 2nd, which wasn't good enough to win the grand prize. A shame. Here's your participation award. Round 2 went much better though. I was timing my jumps and bouncing off the sides at peak efficiency, holding 1st place basically the whole time. 2nd try, let's go. For my victory, I was awarded the multi-moon, but in receiving my prize, instantly uncaptured the Shiverian, exposing myself as a complete fraud. Before they could revoke my prize, I booked it to the Odyssey and loaded up my power moons, making my escape to Luncheon Kingdom. Now, Bowser had secured the drinks, the cake, so of course for the reception, Bowser was going to be targeting the Luncheon Kingdom's stupendous stew. Given my track record so far, what with Bowser stealing everything from each kingdom and me trailing behind haplessly, I was not optimistic about my chances of stopping him. Like, the Broodals are already here. And just as I'd expected, they had already yoinked the stew. Also, didn't see Rango on the ship, so hope he's good. How many people are going to this wedding? Like, why do you have to steal so much? To my surprise, we were starting this kingdom off with a boss battle against the most spewy of the Broodals. Using my signature panic spin strat, I cleared up his spew and donked him on the head 3 times to defeat him once more, but I definitely did not leave unscathed. Never again. Oh, Mario, no. With the Broodals put in their place again, though, I'd opened up the path to Mount Volbono, where the stew was being cooked. Things were worse than anticipated, though, because the Volbonans, a species of sentient forks who cook delicious stew, had their stew pot overtaken by this bird, Cookatiel. I have a question. How do these fork people make stew when you need soup? Spoon for soup. I'm about to ratatouille. Whoa. You know how Remy like jumps over? Oh, that hurts me. Okay, so what am I doing? Having no clear path forward, I spent the next couple minutes channeling my inner Messi and kicked a couple beans into the lower stew pot before practicing my movement on these pillars. And this culminated in a feat I'd been practicing for a while. The cap jump. Ready? That was not that cool, but it felt so good. I feel alive. Something clicked in that moment, and suddenly I was doing cap jumps like a pro. Look at this. Boom. Amazing. After messing around for a while, I decided to actually make some progress by capturing one of these lava bubbles and bobbing around in search of moons. As I did so, I spotted this red door containing a fork-flicking sub-area, which I very much enjoyed. Boing, boing, boing. Honestly, this kingdom was kind of a blast. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so fun. I have so many pans. There's just some things in in life you don't know you need until they arrive, and cheese excavation as a chef bro is one of those things. Within the cheese, I unearthed a lever that allowed me to claim my 6th luncheon moon, and upon reaching this moon, a new set of platforms emerged leading up to the stew pot where the cookatiel was standing guard. As I ventured further into the path to the meat plateau, I discovered this seemingly out-of-place painting, and when I approached it— What? Wait, is this like Mario 64? What? Yoshi's house? Wait. I found Yoshi's star, which was actually a power moon in the shape of a star. Kinda messed with my brain before returning to the luncheon kingdom and flicking my way up to the meat plateau. Am I the meat? Am I a piece of meat? As pieces of meat tend to do, I wriggled around, making myself an enticing target for cookatiel, who snatched me up, and just like that, I was on my way to the stew pot. Not how I initially planned to make it up here, but I was dropped into the soup unharmed, so I call that a win. I hopped from carrot and zucchini stepping stones all the way to the multi-moon, and cookatiel did not like this. Suddenly, a massive gust of wind was blown at me, which triggered the volcano to erupt and sent me flying. I was brought all the way back to the Odyssey, but Mount Volbono showed no signs of slowing down. With the help of these lava cannons, I blasted myself to the foot of the volcano and made my way up as a lava bubble, collecting almost 3/4 of the regional coins and unlocking this power moon by lighting 4 pillars on fire. Collecting the moon itself was a whole other story, but with it collected, I prepared for a rematch. Cookatiel Showdown, baby. Jumping between salt piles, I made my way to the summit climb, which started out smoothly, but quickly went downhill with a series of burns and a big smack upside the head. Did I just smash my face into that? With some veggie dodging, lava bubble parkour, and many deaths, I finally arrived at the lava cannon, launching myself back into the stew pot. In my lava bubble form, I started breaking down the stew ingredients, angering cookatiel once again. But instead of blowing me out of the pot, cookatiel decided to hork on me, calling into question all of her food safety practices, in my opinion. Climbing up her stream of vom, I was able to land my first blow. I was dodging peppers and durian and then smacked her again before preparing for the 3rd and final stage. Who vomits like that? That's not right. That seems like a problem. Cookatiel struggled to stay afloat, and eventually, most tragically, she became part of the stew that she'd worked so hard to safeguard. And thanks to me, the stupendous stew now had pepper, durian, and a whole bird in it. Feathers and all. Delicious. Through my efforts to defeat cookatiel, I'd collected more than enough power moons, so with all those loaded up in the Odyssey, it was time to set sail for our next destination. Bowser's Kingdom, here we come! In the middle of Cappy giving me the rundown, though, the whole Odyssey began to shake, and when I went outside, I saw Bowser riding a freaking dragon. Excuse me? Where did he get that? Bowser had brought a level of firepower that put his cannonballs to shame, shooting a purple laser through the Odyssey that sent it tumbling down in a trail of smoke. Yes, the Odyssey was broken again, but this crash site was far less ideal. Ruined Kingdom, aka Crumbledon. This is a boss arena? This is a boss arena that I'm inside right now. Not the Ender Dragon! Oh god. What do I do? Do I hit it? Go touch it? You want me to touch this thing? Oh, I have to get these things out. No, just one moment. Oh, okay. Removing the golden pins with Cappy, I was able to ground pound the dragon's head, the obvious way to free any enslaved dragon, and in doing so 3 times, successfully defeated the Lord of Lightning and earned myself a multi-moon. And somehow, that was enough to repair the Odyssey. If I'm remembering correctly, we needed 10 to repair the Odyssey in Lost Kingdom after comparable damage, but in any case, we were back on the road, navigating the stormy skies to Bowser's Kingdom. What? Whoa. This is it. The showdown. I already knew there was a huge fight waiting for me, but upon arrival, I was quickly distracted by my new obsession, the Pokio, who's able to climb up walls with their sharp beaks. This is like my favorite in the game, I feel. With the help of my dearest Pokio, I collected moon shards and regional coins and left in my wake a ton of holes in the wall. Take that, Bowser. With all 5 moon shards and my prize acquired, though, I opened the door to my next challenge, the big brutal battle. Oh god. Honestly, it seemed like the perfect time to take a trip to the region's crazy cat store, a very adorable Zen garden, but I was swiftly distracted by this locked door. The nerve of this guy, he wouldn't let me in. Like, you don't think I'm dressed for battle? I beg to differ, buddy. With anger and regret, I covered up my beautiful outfit with a full set of samurai armor to gain access to the door. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, I love that. That's so cool. Having claimed both moons from the super cool 2D folding screen level, I returned to Bowser's Kingdom Kingdom to take on Topper. What is that attack? I finished off the battle pretty effortlessly, but something felt wrong. These clothes are just too restrictive. Get off the wardrobe, you goblin. There we go. Much better. With the cool wind on my skin once again, I was more than ready for my second boss battle against Harriet, and just like every Brutal before her, she was no match for my raw power. And with 2 rabbits defeated, I'd reached the final part of Bowser's Kingdom. With my beloved Pokio, I made my way up, pecking at bombs, collecting regional coins, and scaling walls until I reached the keep of Bowser's castle. Under the light of the full moon, Cappy and Mario on one side, Bowser and his hostages on the other. I was expecting the showdown of the century, but unexpectedly, his ship swooped in with all the stolen goods aboard. I'd gotten there too late. We're off to our wedding ceremony on the moon? What kind of Gru nonsense? Wait, did I miss something? On the moon? Was this always established? Like, they put a deposit down on that venue? Any hopes of catching up to Bowser were quickly dashed with the arrival of the wedding planners inside their new Robo-Brood mecha. I had no idea how to approach this thing, but luckily, my favorite little guy appeared to show me the way. Oh, Pokio. Oh, now we're living. I pecked bombs at the Robo-Brood's armored legs, toppling it down, and then climbed up to ground pound on Spewart and Rango shortly after. But our next Pokio was surrounded by fireworks and bombs, making it impossible to capture. He was gonna have to come to me. Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, no. That Pokio did not live very long, and the one that followed was also fighting for its life. Eventually, I got the Robo-Brood down on one knee and scaled to the top, stomping Harriet and leaving only Topper left to defeat. But just as I was about to peck another bomb, I died. Luckily, I made my progress back pretty quickly this time around, and with 2 quick bombs to the knee, Topper face planted, allowing me to stomp on the final rabbit in the Robo-Brood. Their mech suit shot into the sky, and from the glow of their firework facsimiles, I saw a multi-moon drop down. A worthy prize for one of the hardest and most fun bosses yet. And now it's dead. So am I almost, but we made it. With my moon sucked up by the Odyssey, we'd added the final part of the sail, straight up turning it into a hot air balloon. And this upgrade granted us the required lift to fly to the moon. Also, I guess Cappy thought my current attire wasn't appropriate for a wedding and took it upon himself to change my outfit. I did not consent to that. How do I take the clothes off? Before we knew it, Cappy and I had arrived at Honeyloon Ridge. Not sure why we landed the Odyssey so far away from the wedding hall. I mean, we're crashing the wedding anyway. We really should have just slammed into the side of the building. But this gave us the element of surprise, I suppose, as well as the chance to acclimate to the moon's gravity and change back into my preferred wedding attire. With no time to spare, I booked it to the wedding venue. Princess Peach and Tiara's lives were in my hands. Okay, I give up. I give up on the rabbit. I'm getting distracted. I jumped into this hole, landing in the underground moon caverns. And through capturing many new enemies like the Dry Bones, Bonsai Bill, and Chargin' Chucks, I was able to navigate this really cool obstacle course and stand once again before a familiar face. You remember me, unfortunately. Madame Brood was back with her beloved Chain Chompikins, but this time, the dude had 3 hats, which meant 3 layers of defense. On my first try, though, I was able to knock them down, smacking Madame Brood's face with her own pet once, twice, and 3 times, defeating her once more. And she was the final line of defense. In beating her, I escaped the cavern, ending up right in front of the wedding hall, just in time to stop the ceremony. I object. Oh, let me get in there first. I object. That was the right moment. Paulina is here. You invited Paulina, and you're not gonna invite me? Are you kidding? Mario? For a moment, I was genuinely upset about not getting an invite, but I quickly returned to my senses and remembered why I was here. I was prepared to throw hands with Bowser and save the princess, but Bowser was just laughing. It made me feel kind of self-conscious, standing here half naked, but then the floor under my naked little feet gave out. Cappy, please. No! I landed in a strange underground arena where Bowser confronted me head-on, leaving Peach held captive in her own wedding ring. Crashing the wedding? That's tacky even for you. Also, your outfit isn't halfway fancy enough for the occasion. Whoa! I could tolerate a lot from Bowser, but that comment about my outfit sent me off the edge. I was ready to throw down. Straight off the bat, I captured Bowser's boxing hat. Beat you up, beat you up. I got some good punches in and dodged his fiery spin attacks. Oh my god, again! Bowser! Just getting attacked by Bowser things. I look so dumb in this little hat. Just as I suspected. Just as I suspected. My second attempt started poorly and ended just as bad, but I was hoping third time would be the charm. I hate you. I hate you, Bowser. This is my wedding. No, Clifford, now is not the time. Go away. Oh, no, 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 no. I died again. Thank you so much, Clifford. Goblin. Stay there. I had a good feeling going into my 4th try, but with only 1 health at the start of the final phase, it wasn't looking great. It's not gonna go well, I can feel it. You're garbage, Bowser, you're garbage. Whoa! No, no! Like in my last attempt, I began the final phase with just 1 health, but this heart from a decoy hat filled me with determination. And with Bowser's boxing hat slapped on my head, I rushed in for one last push. He blocked my blows, whipped his tail around 3 times, then once more, and granted me the window to deliver the finishing blow. Just like that, Princess Peach and Tiara were freed from the ring that binded them, which, isn't that like a sacred Tostarena artifact? Okay. At last, we had saved them and defeated Bowser. I was absolutely overjoyed, but just then... Just kidding, totally fine. Imagine if that was the ending though, that would have been crazy. But it was clear that smashing Bowser into that pillar of moonrock had destabilized the entire cavern, and all of a sudden, we were plummeting into the abyss. When I came to, I found myself in a lava cavern with Peach looking dazed and Bowser still unconscious. What are we gonna do? I don't know. Wake up, Bowser. Oh. I suddenly felt my soul transporting into Bowser's physical form. I am in Bowser. That's so cool. Putting Peach on my shoulder, I booked it out of there, smashing rocks like there was no tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Shake the Joy-Con to breathe fire. I dodged falling moon rocks all the way through the level until I reached a 2D section. Let's go. I'm not gonna fit in that pipe. Oh, I guess I am. I bounded my way up as whole sections of floor dropped from underneath me, eventually smacking my way through this wall and reaching the final area. We were almost home free. As I destroyed these pillars, I could feel the cave ceiling crumbling above me. It's falling apart. Get to the middle. Okay. And breaking this final moon rock in the middle revealed a spark pylon. Oh, we're zipping out of here. Mario in the body of Bowser, along with Peach, Tiara, and Cappy in one spark pylon. Not sure the logistics of all this, but we zoomed out of there, landing back on the surface of the moon. With Bowser still knocked out cold and Cappy and Tiara reunited, I finally had chance to make my move. I approached Peach, ready to ask her out, propose, inquire about an 100 moon loan. Like, I really don't know what my plan was here. But all of a sudden, Bowser absolutely decked me. Worse still, he pulled out the piranha plant bouquet, which Peach seemed to like. This man kidnapped you. I followed that up with a rocket flower of my own, hoping to outriz Bowser's advances. What is happening right now? Let Peach live. But Peach made the correct decision of rejecting us both. Mario and Bowser cried together, a scene I never thought I'd see, until we heard Peach yell from afar. Peach is stealing the Odyssey. Oh my... I support that. I love that. And with that, we had completed the story of Mario Odyssey. Thanks for playing.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
In reality, though, we were just getting started. Between moon rocks to discover, a whole new kingdom to explore, and hundreds of Power Moons, regional coins, outfits, captures, souvenirs, stickers from each kingdom. Don't even get me started on Luigi's Balloon World. There was a lot to do. I felt like there was no better place to begin this next chapter of our completionist journey than the place it all began, the Cap Kingdom. And the first thing that caught my attention was this glowing moon rock. With the help of a Paragoomba, I was able to reach it and stomp on it, which caused the moon rock to shoot into the sky and explode. What did I do? So many power moons popped out. That rock fell from the moon. Oh my god. Oh my god. And so it began. With my Paragoomba buddy, I collected a bunch of moons and regional coins before making a stop at the Crazy Cap, where I used some of my hard-earned money to purchase our first souvenir for the Odyssey, a Cap Kingdom sticker, and 10 power moons for 1,000 coins. At this point, I felt like it was the perfect moment to start working on Luigi's Balloon World. Now, Luigi's Balloon World. It's basically hide and seek with balloons that you can play through online multiplayer to earn money and stars. I decided to first give seeking a try and couldn't find Ben's balloon in the allotted time, but Ludo's was a piece of cake. That's one down, like hundreds to go. I decided to give hiding a try too, and it started off pretty poorly, but eventually I found a sneaky little spot to place my balloon. And as I continued to hunt for moons around the kingdom, people tried to find my balloon, earning me a bunch of coins and stars in the process. My balloon got popped. Oh my god, this is the worst day of my life. But Luigi's Balloon World wasn't the only minigame we needed to fully complete. There was also Koopa Free Running, a competitive foot race against these very suave Koopas that can be found in every kingdom. And I mean, given how much my movement had improved up until this point, I was able to win the race no problem and earn myself a moon. For the next hour or so, I focused on finding moons, collecting all 50 of the regional coins, and actually spotted Peach in Cap Kingdom. As it turns out, Peach and Tiara were on a worldwide tour, traveling to all of the kingdoms, so finding them in each one was yet another thing we'd have to keep in mind. fine. With 7 moons left, I was quickly becoming tired of Cap Kingdom, and most of all, I wanted to take some time to explore our newest area, the Mushroom Kingdom. Naturally, the first thing I did was hide a balloon for Luigi. I'm telling you right now, this game is gonna consume my life. At this point in time, though, I was still excited about hiding and finding balloons, so I sussed out a decent spot, hoping that would rank me up while I did my exploring. Of course, first on the list had to be Peach's castle. I collected some regional coins behind the throne and spoke to Toadette, who evidently had been traveling the world secretly, keeping track of my progress. Okay. I definitely would have been creeped out had she not given me all these achievements. She had just what I was looking for. Moons. And a lot of them. I stood there for a good 3 minutes accepting moons for achievements I'd made on my journey, but there was still a lot of ground to cover. 63 coins, let's go. Look at these fools. They can't find my balloon. Okay, they found my balloon. I don't know what I expected to find on the roof of the castle, but I was not disappointed to see a Yoshi egg just sitting there. It's an actual Yoshi! Oh! With the help of Yoshi's unending appetite, I scarfed up apples and Goombas until my Yoshi meter was full, earning me yet another moon. Not long after, I discovered a tower with a portrait of Torque Drift. I absolutely crushed a rematch against the Flower UFO, and then stumbled upon another painting that led me to the seaside resort of Bablaine. And I figured while I was here, I might as well smack around the moon rock. But my first priority was finding Princess Peach. If I were Peach and I was here, where would I go? Maybe like the top of this thing? The LaCroix thing? Dude, Peach, I'm in your head. I'm in your head. With Peach's moon and another from inside the goblet itself, right in the LaCroix. I spotted yet another painting just chilling at the bottom, so after picking up my seaside souvenirs and crushing the Koopa free running, I hopped into the painting and was transported all the way back to Cascade Kingdom. I was just kind of going with the flow, you know? Collecting moons as I saw them, winning every Koopa race effortlessly, low-key, kind of stalking Peach. I'm assuming Peach is just gonna be in like the worst place to get to. There's a little puzzle room down there, but I need to not get distracted. Oh, there's a shiny. I think that's the power moon thing. Okay, let's go there. I hear her. I hear her. I knew it. We're actually so in sync. Careful you don't get entranced by the big waterfall that you fall. Oh, okay. Is that a threat, Peach? It was all pretty standard completion stuff, but what I didn't expect was that as I loaded my new moons into the Odyssey, it had powered up. Now we can fly to the dark side? What? Of the moon? I'm sorry, I have to go. I chugged on over to dark side, and to my shock, it was full of stonified luncheon ingredients and rabbits. Probably should have taken a hint on that last part because this big carrot-shaped monolith was none other than Rabbit Ridge, a boss rush facing off against all 4 Broodals. So what if you stop the wedding? You can't stop me. You can't stop any of us. Let's see ya try. Okay, I'll do it. First, I went up against Topper, and I will say, the moon gravity was something to get used to. That and the absurd amount of hats he had. Dude, where did you get those? The radius on that thing. Topper's many hats killed me a couple times, but I soon realized I could bypass the whole spinning shtick and go straight for the kill, bringing me to the second floor where Harriet awaited. I managed to defeat her with a single heart of health, but facing Spewart under the same conditions didn't go as well. Mario, nobody asked you to do that. Are you kidding me right now? I didn't even shake that. I didn't even shake that. I mean, I was shaking. I will admit, I was shaking a lot of stuff. Wait, okay. If you spin Cappy on the stem of this pepper, you can get a life up heart that grants 6 total HP. And with this health boost, I was more than confident that I could get through all 4 Broodals. Topper, Harriet, and Spewart were down, leaving just Rango on the 4th floor. He got me with 2 hits in quick succession, but I believed in myself, and somehow I managed to pull out a win. Before taking the pipe to the peak of Rabbit Ridge, I found Captain Toad just hanging out with a moon called Captain Toad on the dark side. So, Darth Toad? I thought I was done with the Broodals, having defeated all 4, but when I reached the top of Rabbit Ridge... Oh, no! Oh, God, I'm horrified. Is it Pokios again? It wasn't Pokios. No. It was Hammer Bros. And not to insult my favorite enemy in all of Mario Odyssey, but the Hammer Bro went absolutely hammy in this fight. I was able to break down the armor of the Robo Brood with relative ease, stomping on all 4 of the Broodals once again. I feel like, what is that, the 4th time already? Can we stop? I enjoyed the fireworks and my new multi-moon prize, but when I returned to the Odyssey, something had changed. I'm a king? The whole royal getup was too much of a hindrance. Not enough airflow, you know? But I kept the crown on. The dark side of the moon is now my domain. And having completed that, it was time to return to New Donk City, collecting moons and heaps of garbage at the top of the Empire State Building, getting regional coins along billboards, finding a random purse. A very New York City experience, I will say. Is this yours? I was a little confused why the mayor of the city had nothing better to do than ask me trivia questions about herself, though. She's so into me. Which of these things did I actually do a long time ago? Captured by apes. Yeah! Correct. correct. I knew you'd remember. It was traumatic at the time, but it helped me make the person I... When was Pauline captured by an ape? Oh my god. Pauline is the damsel in distress from Donkey Kong. You're kidding. Yeah, I did not know this. After answering various questions about her hobbies, dinner preferences, and traumas, trivia time was finally over. Thanks for taking the time to chat. It's good to catch up with old friends. I guess I'm feeling sentimental. Today is my birthday. Did you know that? No matter how old I get, I still get excited about presents. Is this yours, milady? Oh, no. Wait, we're exes? That's such a weird vibe. To be like, it's actually my birthday. Thanks for saving the kingdom. Tell me 4 facts about me. We dated. I know, like, everything about you. Okay, can't wait to put that statue of my ex-girlfriend in my home. With a change into my Bob the Builder outfit, I collected a bunch of moons in this sub-area filled with occupational hazards. Witnessing that, I'd had just about enough of New Donk City and decided to continue on locating Peach in all the other kingdoms, including Cloud and Luncheon. Wait, something going on in the plaza? Cooking carnival? Wait, that's so fun. That's way more fun than finding Peach. Let's do that. Liberated from the oppressive Cookatiel, who by my account was now in the stupendous stew. There was a lot of soup to go around, but there was one issue. How do I eat the stew? Turns out I wasn't allowed. I did get a moon from Peach that she accidentally bit into while eating her stew, so that's probably the closest I was gonna get. I bought my souvenirs and ditched Luncheon, salty about my inability to partake in such a fun festival. This marked a shift in my state of mind. This wasn't about fun and games anymore. It was time to visit each kingdom, collect all the coins and power moons, and complete them one by one. Also, one little rule that I made for myself, I was only able to find moons with the help of this bird, Cockatoo, who provides cryptic hints to their whereabouts. No cheating, no Google, just bird. Hold on, I need to hide a better balloon. I need to get the stars. Luigi, what are you saying? You don't like the naked look? He's like, brother, oh my god. I stashed my balloon inside this hat before setting course for Cloud Kingdom. I was hoping to knock out the smallest kingdoms first to get the ball rolling on this absolutely bonker-nuts completionist journey I was on. Also, yes, Clifford was very distracting, but my god, the balloon and Cap Kingdom was raking in the dough. I went around and collected moons until it was down to the very last one, an art puzzle where I needed to recreate the face of a Goomba. First attempt, far too cute. Second, possibly suffering from a concussion, but on my third try, I absolutely nailed it. And that is, I think, our last moon in Cloud Kingdom. With the tank juiced up, I navigated the Odyssey back to Cascade. To celebrate such a momentous achievement, I purchased this Flintstone outfit. Mario is very unsettling with a beard, and found the last of the regional coins, as well as many, many moons until Cockatoo had no more hints left to give. That's 3 kingdoms completed, so I loaded up my moons, reaching 382 total, and headed next to Lost Kingdom. I won Koopa free running, spent genuinely 4 minutes trying to hit this rabbit with Cappy, and spent another hour collecting moons all over the place. I must say though, the Master Cup for Koopa free running seemed to be getting more difficult as I progressed through the kingdoms, and if it weren't for my aerodynamic outfit choice, I may not have clutched the victory on this one. I might win this one. I might win this one. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, okay. Oh, suck it, eat my dust for breakfast. Oh, it's all over for you, little man. It's so over. Wow, that only took like 1-2 tries. I guess I'm a pro. This win not only made me feel extremely accomplished, but it also granted us our final moon for Lost Kingdom, and with the 3 remaining coins picked up, we had finished our 4th kingdom. Easy peasy. And next on the list was Ruined Kingdom, where I greeted Peach and the dragon. I even found a moon on the tip of its horn before meeting my demise sliding down the back of its head. But with all 10 moons found relatively quickly, we had pretty much finished up all the baby kingdoms. Things would only be getting more difficult from here, especially moving on to Sand Kingdom, which had 89 total moons. And also, this circle drawing challenge. I swear, this one just stumped me so bad. Like, I'd hesitate to call many of my attempts circular, but we did it eventually, okay? Honestly, my philosophy with completion in this kingdom was to work smarter, not harder. For Koopa free running, I just rode a Jaxie to an easy victory, but I mean, I don't know how to work smarter when you're just a Goomba sprinting across the desert trying to reunite with your lover. The trek begins. I ran across the desert as fast as my little feet could carry me until I saw my beloved Goombette. And after such an exhausting trek, I took a break from the heat at the Crazy Cap store, shelling out $2 grand for a stack of moons before checking in with my pal Takatu. And just as he mentioned the bird traveling the desert, I spotted it. It's literally right there. I know I have the other bird. I waited on that rooftop, ready to pounce as Toad jammed out beside me, but when my chance came, I totally missed. I tracked the bird's shadow like a desert fox on the prowl, beating it to the oasis and finally managing to throw Cappy at it. Moons were getting pretty hard to find at this point though. Like for this one, I needed to capture a bullet bill, get another one to follow me, and then hitch a ride on the second one in order to reach a distant pillar. Oh, that sucked. So instead, I tried a different approach. My strategy is destruction. I'm just gonna break a bunch of stuff with a the Jaxie. Things started off poorly, but it actually worked out where I earned a moon for reuniting him with his brethren and perched him on top of the inverted pyramid. Together, we took the long fall down to Takatu, and mercifully, he had no more hints left to give. With one more moon left on the list, I assumed I just had to buy one from the shop, but I was woefully mistaken. What? What is Moon 68? Oh, darn it all. What do you mean no more hints? Are you kidding me? Takatu has forsaken me. That's not a joke. Honestly, I was so irate, I purchased the regional souvenirs with the 100 coins I'd found and huffed all the way to Lake Kingdom. On strike, one could say. And immediately upon my arrival, I zipped open this hidden area and found the 3 remaining coins. No shot. No shot. I just entered the kingdom, saw something I hadn't done before, and got the last 3 coins. Are you kidding? All right, just the moons now. With some moons collected and a seed planted, I took on Koopa freerunning to fill time as it grew, and honestly, these little foot races against the Koopas were helping me immensely to improve my movement, as evidenced by these flawless cap jumps. Okay, I've learned to cap jump! Koopa freerunning made me who I am, like genuinely. Having secured first place in both the basic and master cups, I continued on to collect the taxi flying through Lake Lamode Moon when suddenly, Cappy said something I didn't expect. Wait, did you see that? Head to the darker side of the moon? What the heck does that mean? With the power of 500 total power moons, the Odyssey now had the ability to travel to the darker side of the moon. So we headed back into orbit and arrived at Colmena Crater, where a little party was going on. What are all these people doing here? I don't know. What am I supposed to be seeing? Long journeys end? Oh gosh, what is this? Your courage, it is inspiring. We're here to cheer you on. Danger ahead! Oh god. I'm scared. I'm really scared. Jumping up the moon pillar as a wee frog, I honestly had no idea what I was signing myself up for, but in entering the pipe, it was immediately clear what this level had in store for me. Oh god. It's Champions Road? For those who are unaware, some Mario games have a post-game level that's designed to be the most brutal, challenging level in the whole game. It kind of like synthesizes all the obstacles you faced and the strategies you learned in every single level before it. For Mario 3D World, it was Champions Road. In Mario Wonder, it was the final test badge marathon. And for Mario Odyssey, it's Darker Side. Okay, no, this is fine. I literally thought this was a kingdom. Even given how much I'd improved as a Mario Odyssey player, I knew this was not going to be a walk in the park. I made my way pretty easily through the first Goomba section, this little pole shimmying stretch, and just barely cleared the bar swinging area. Yo, Mario! Okay. Yo, this is terrifying. But the attempt was cut short with an unfortunate run-in with some lava. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? In no time, though, I made it past the lava bubble jumps and onto the uproot section. Okay, she's incredible. It's really not an issue. With this cleared, I next attempted the Yoshi tongue section, where you literally just make your way left and right, avoiding obstacles and moving up the wall. Fun fact, I did this without taking a single hit of damage. At this point in the gauntlet, I had reached a Sphinx checkpoint, and by answering their questions, I had earned another 6 hearts. But I was gonna need every bit of health I could get. Look how much longer it is. Okay, we're fine. What the hell is going on here? I do not like the looks of this. I scoped out the flight path before taking off and noticed a gigantic swarm of sting bees, but in taking the updrafts and vigorously shaking my Joy-Cons, I was able to fly above them and take a pipe into a whole new area, which honestly presented a new set of problems. Oh no. This is torture. This is so bad. This is a torture ship. Don't hit that. Don't hit that. Oh, no. I just made it so much worse. I just cannot hit that again. Oh, I hit it again. Oh my god, you're so bad, Charlie. You're so bad. You're actually so bad. You're garbage, and it's unbelievable. No, I made it so much worse for myself. Oh my god. Oh my lord. Stop. I'm about to start freaking bawling. I started that section with 8 hearts and ended it burnt to a crisp with only 2 left. Oh, it's Pokio. I don't like this one bit. This isn't happening. Yo, what? Pokio! Sorry, I did not mean to yell there. I really apologize, everybody. By some miracle, I made it past the Pokio section and defeated Donkey Kong in this kind of nauseating 2D section before emerging from the pipe on the other side. Only realized after the fact, probably could have skipped that whole thing with the height I had with Glide on. Whatever. Lava under the bridge. And with 1 single heart left, I was faced with a beautiful portrait of Mario Bowser. Or Bowser Mario? Are we defined by the body we occupy or the soul within? Anyway, I jumped straight through the painting into a hellscape of rolling boulders. Oh, this is just the worst. I had come too far. There was no way I'd be backing down now. I trudged on through and made it to the end, hopping into a spark pylon and... Did I do it? What? Thank you for playing my game? Wait, no way. Sure enough, I defeated Darker Side in about half an hour with basically only one attempt. Absolutely wild. For reference, it took me like a week to beat Champion's Road, just saying. To cap off my time in Darker Side, I headed to the Long Journey's End, capturing a frog in much the same way we started this adventure. And slowly, I climbed my way up to the top of the tower. Cappy thanked me for the adventure, and together, we collected the only multi-moon in this kingdom. Long Journey's End. Oh boy. Why am I invisible? Oh, it was intentional. Okay, I was like, did I break it? The invisibility hat was quite rare, but also very disorienting, so I changed back into something a little more comfortable and continued on with my moon collecting mission in Lake Kingdom. Even with Darker Side complete, our journey to 100%ing Super Mario Odyssey was still not over. After buying the remaining souvenirs, sticker, and outfits from the Crazy Cap and courting these two Goomba lovers, oh hello, I spotted Peach, leaving only 4 moons left to collect, and one of them happened to be in this moving block puzzle. Kind of reminds me of that like Bloxers Flash game from 2008. Also, super fun fact about me, my spatial cognition is horrible. I spent probably 20 whole minutes just tossing that block around, trying to orient it correctly, and literally could not crack it. Honestly, incredibly embarrassing. Eventually, with the help of my old pal Googster, I put the block in the right spot and claimed my very deserved prize. Oh my god, get me out of here. I want to pretend that never happened. And when I say here, I mean like escaping the entire kingdom and going to the moon. One of the lock ladies wanted space clothing inspiration, and the only place to purchase an astronaut suit was the Moon Kingdom's Crazy Cap shop. So after picking up some regional coins, I bought the space helmet, but still needed a handful of coins to get the rest of the outfit. While I searched for them though, I came across this Koopa challenging me to another circle drawing contest, except this time, the terrain was uneven. This is the final boss in the game. Yeah. Here are some of my quote-unquote circles, none of which passed the 80-point benchmark to get the moon. Hopped off for a second with this absolute beauty, but of course, the circle was too big. I need to walk away. I figured it would be good to cool off and go find another moon, and I quickly spotted this shiny moon rock calling to me, and yeah, there it goes. Moon Kingdom is not my kingdom. At that point, I was like, screw the moon, and also the much smaller moons inside it. Has anyone ever thought, whoa, what is that about? I collected the rest of the coins I needed and purchased the rest of the astronaut suit, which the lock lady very much enjoyed. And my mood soured by that trip to the moon, I jetted off to Wooded Kingdom without even finishing Lake. To be fair, I only had one moon left, and it was called Secret Path to Lake Lamode. I mean, my brain was mush. I figured I'd stumbled across it eventually. We touched down in Wooded Kingdom, and I immediately took stock of our progress. 48 moons left to find. Yikers. As I started the hunt though, I noticed that Luigi had added a blue balloon to his collection. That's progress, baby. My main priority for now though was moons and purple coins, of which I found many. There were easy moons like the Koopa free running challenges, and also considerably harder ones such as the sheep herding challenge. Please don't fall off. Don't be foolish. Even the dumbest animal wouldn't do that. No! You dumb sheep! Genuinely spent 10 minutes of my life just punting sheep into the abyss. No! I hate sheep. This pissed me off so bad. I really can't describe. I cracked a bunch of nuts to cool down and then returned to the sheep level with a renewed sense of hope. Could this be the sheep? Short answer, no. Guy straight up just walked off the edge. Eventually, though, I got the sheep onto the platform and successfully wrangled him. Oh my god, finally. Now we just have to do it again. This second sheep went much smoother, thankfully, and from there, it was more regional coin hunting and moon grinding. But not long after, I grabbed the last of the purple coins and used the tanks to find some moons, leaving one final moon in the kingdom. It was basically to play a specific song for this music-loving toad, but I hadn't collected the song they desired yet, so I moved on to Snow Kingdom. Even on our second visit, Mario was shivering in his little undies, so I bought him a hood to keep him warm while we gathered moons. A lot of moons. Many of them, you could even say. It's a good thing I bought this thing, huh? Swimming through those freezing cold waters. In my exploration, I also came across this painting, and to my surprise, it turned out to be the secret path to Lake Lamode, the final Lake Kingdom moon that we weren't able to find. And this meant Lake Kingdom was officially done. To celebrate such a feat, I decided to take on a fun little challenge, earning moons through the Bound Bowl Grand Prix. Winning the Class A race was pretty easy, but the Class S circuit? Impossible. I tried it so many times and didn't even come close, but I really felt like I needed a brain break, just a fun activity to do. So I hopped in the Odyssey and returned to the Bablaine Resort to reach 100 volleys in the beach volleyball game. Finally, relaxation, tranquility, tranquility, peace. I feel like this one should have been dreadful, but it really did bring me a lot of joy. And with the last handful of purple coins left, we had completed Seaside Kingdom as well. Having reached a total of 700 moons, we only had 299 left to go, and our next stop was Luncheon Kingdom, starting off with a little purple coin hunt. And this turned out to be smart because it gave me some great ideas for balloon hiding spots. I will be so shocked if somebody pops this. Genuinely. Also, just so you know, throughout this entire stretch of time, I'd been hiding balloons in all the kingdoms I visited with the hopes that I could make Luigi's Balloon World progress in the background. So we'll see how that turns out. I tooled around the kingdom looking for collectibles, and that's when I stumbled across this golden turnip. And I just knew I was supposed to bring it to the stew pot for a moon. Let me tell you, this was not a walk in the park. Using a chef bro, I cleared a path through the cheese, and on my first attempt, completely flubbed it. Turnip and Mario, both fallen in the Pepto-Bismol. The second try didn't go any better, but the third try was pure art. A hop, skip, and a jump from this yellow bell pepper to chuck the golden turnip into the stupendous stew, granting us the moon. I was very inspired by this trick shot and decided to become the turnip by attempting to land in the stew pot from the pot at the top of Mount Volbono. Oh, that took so long. I have a really important question. So the forks over there have hats and they are people. The forks over here don't have hats and I can just like, woo. Does that mean they're like dead? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Captain Toad is here, here, or here. Just the most inconvenient location. You're literally so predictable. We had 3 more purple coins and 1 more moon to get from this steam gardener who was in need of repairs. With a quick trip to Wooded Kingdom, I purchased the mechanic's outfit and this was all we needed to get the final moon. Curiously enough, I mean, I get it. Sometimes my car's engine light is on and I just need someone at like Jiffy Lube to tell me everything's gonna be okay. And soon enough, I see them! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Get me over there. That's the last thing we need. Just like that, Luncheon Kingdom was finished. I just logged back in. You can't see it, but I got like 530 coins from the balloon in Luncheon. Are you kidding? I slapped my balloon in the exact same spot before returning to the moon with the goal of finishing the smaller kingdom. And unfortunately, this meant revisiting my worst enemy, circle trace walking. Again, my circles were just coming up short, but I followed them up with a nearly perfect performance. It's a good circle. That is a good circle. I'm 24. With this horrendous circle task finally in the rear view, I put my focus back on collecting moons. As I climbed the wedding hall, I ran into Peach and continued to earn moons in all sorts of ways. Koopa free running, exploring this sub area, dog, and dressing up as a doctor to help out this Chivarian with a stomachache. I didn't even do anything. All the while, as I was collecting regional coins and moons, people hunted for my balloons, and some of these spots were raking in absurd amounts of coins. But eventually, I'd reached the final moon, which was a hint art in Wooded Kingdom. Okay, so we have all of the moons now. We just need 3 coins. I knew it! Oh my god. Oh my god, Mario! It's okay, I'm a doctor. Doctors can't fix everything. Using the Parabones, I'd managed to snatch the 3 remaining purple coins, officially completing the Moon Kingdom. And from here, it only made sense to move on to Darkside. Oh my, I didn't know there was so many moons on Darkside. Where are they? I guess I'll find out. My first stop was this luncheon-looking sub-area where I collected a couple moons as Yoshi, but the real kicker was the amount of hint arts in this kingdom. There were at least 10, and I was not in the mood to go kingdom hopping to find them all. I'm gonna have to go on a whole journey. That just sounded hellish, but little did I know the sub-area I opted to do instead would be far worse. I kept missing the P-switch and rolling off the edge, or not even making it on time. No! I hate it here. I'm not even gonna divulge how many attempts this took me, but eventually I made it to the final section, only to have my dreams crushed even more. I was not having a good time. I hate my life. Mario! God, yeah. You're kidding! This is just the worst level that I've ever played of this game ever. What are you climbing on? In what world would you climb on that? At last, though, I was freed from this purgatory. Thank you! Jeez, was that so hard? I don't like this level. Thankfully, the next sub-area was much kinder. Basically, there were these invisible rotating goo platforms that you needed to navigate, and hey, I can appreciate the level design. The appreciation isn't visible on my face, but trust me, it was there. I continued to trudge through various Darkside sub-areas, all the while popping off in Luigi's Balloon World. Saving the hint arts for later when I had more mental capacity, I moved on to Bowser Bowser's Kingdom, hiding a balloon first thing as I landed. We did the usual routine, collecting regional coins and moons, dominating the Koopa free-running Master Cup. I did run into a roadblock with Rumble under the arena floor. Still couldn't figure out how to turn on the Rumble settings, so I just ground pounded every square inch of the arena until I found it. Incredibly optimal, I know. It didn't take long for me to realize, though, that the movement of the Pokios was absolutely game-changing. Like, in kind of an annoying way. As soon as I'd collected some moons and coins with them, I realized there were probably a ton of things hidden on the sides of the walls, so I searched around and poked my beak into any hole I could find. This granted me a couple more moons and left only a hint art, which was located in the Sand Kingdom. Can't say I'm in love with the hint arts, they're becoming a hindrance to my gameplay, but pushing my feelings aside, I skedoodled to the desert and found it pretty easily. Okay, so we have all the moons, now we need to find 9 coins. Oh my gosh! As a reward for pushing on in the face of adversity, I went on a shopping spree at the Crazy Cat, buying a ton of clothing. I figured I'd need them all eventually to 100% the game, so think of it like strategic retail therapy. I scooted around finding 6 purple coins pretty quickly, but the last 3 seemed impossible to find until... Wait! Oh my... Get me down there. I wish I could express to you how freaking long I've been looking for these coins. Another kingdom checked off the list. My brain was truly mush from all the moon collecting I'd done on this day, so as I relaxed that night, I decided to do some off-camera ballooning, hiding and finding balloons until I reached 10,000 coins. Also, please ignore that I look like an Oompa Loompa right now. My camera did not know how to handle the shirt color I was wearing. Not only did this rank me up a bunch, but it also enabled me to buy the most expensive outfit in the whole game, the skeleton suit. Something I did not plan for that now feels very obvious is that buying the skeleton suit left me with 0 coins to hunt for balloons. Definitely an oversight, but I worked around it. Now, a bit of a check-in. As things stood, we were almost finished with the hide it ranks, but I had a lot of work to do in the find it department, so I got straight to it. I decided to centralize the balloon finding in Sand Kingdom because it was the easiest. I mean, it's pretty obvious where things are, and for some reason, people only hid them in like 3 spots in this kingdom. I don't know what that's about. After leveling up to rank 23, I decided I'd had enough of that for now and returned to Metro Kingdom to finish off the moons and purple coins there. Another ginormous kingdom. To start things off, I planted a couple seeds, and as I waited for those to grow, began to hunt for moons in the area through various means. Truly, New Donk City is an interesting place. Here is a rapid-fire summary of some activities I did to get moons. Number 1, literally just sat on this bench and hung out with a very sad man. Too real. Number 2, raced against the Koopas and got one of the most clutch victories of my free-running career. Number 3, fell off a building due to unsafe work conditions. Number 4, did a little dance. And number 5, changed into a clown costume so this guy could laugh at me. What can't you do in this city? I mean, I know one thing I hadn't done. Jump rope 100 times, and accomplishing this goal was quite the emotional roller coaster. I got flustered, I got annoyed, I got extremely heated, and then I got deeply sad. These are the eyes of a soulless being. But after many attempts, 26 to be exact, I figured out I could throw Cappy to reset my jumping rhythm, and that is all I needed to reach 100. Just to put salt on the wound, though. Not the block puzzles again. Oh, I get it. I have to plug it in where... Oh, no! Not after the jump rope! I was fully expecting a repeat of my time in the Lake Kingdom, but after only a couple minutes flipping the block around, I somehow cracked it, which left only 1 moon left to get. The RC Car Challenge. The time to beat was 26 seconds, and I came real close a number of times. Side note, this minigame is extremely fun, and eventually, I pulled off a 2588. So we have all the moons now. Now we have to get 8 purple coins. Wherever could they be? Through this method of hucking myself off the building, I quickly obtained the final coins, rounding out Metro Kingdom. Okay, super quickly, I want to try and see if we can finish up all these dark side art hint things because they're really obnoxious and I don't want to be going from kingdom to kingdom anymore. Before setting off to finish all the hint arts though, there was still one sub area I hadn't finished, and let me just preface by saying it was bad. Worse than the block puzzle, jump rope, and darker side combined. Like, I am struggling to find the words to adequately describe the rage I felt. I never won a Mario Odyssey 2. After so many attempts, I finally made it to the end, expecting the bullet bill to destroy the barrier, and... Are you kidding me? This is the worst game. It took ages to reach the end with a bullet bill in pursuit again, and I'd learned my lesson. I assumed the closest thing I could to the fetal position, allowing the bullet bill to break open the wall, but as you might notice, not a shred of joy. Breakdown road? More like I'm on the road to a breakdown. That was the worst level I've ever played. I did darker side in, I think, 15 minutes. In all honesty, after such a nightmarish ordeal, the idea of traveling from kingdom to kingdom to find hint arts seemed mind-numbing and delightful. I found one in Metro Kingdom, hiding a balloon while I was there, and then collected the ones in Cascade, Snow, and Seaside. The last of which brought our moon count to 900. That meant we were less than 100 moons away from getting every single one. I continued to traverse the various kingdoms, picking up dark side moons until at last, I'd managed to collect all 24, crossing dark side off the list. Okay, so the only two captures we have left, I looked it up, are the fire piranha plants and then like the poison ones. I didn't even know you could capture those, so I guess we gotta go do that. Apparently, you can capture piranha plants by making them eat rocks, so I did just that with the poison piranha plant in Wooded and tried to do the same in Luncheon, burning myself twice before living my best life as a flamethrower. The hell I endured in that dark side sub area has made me enjoy the simple things in life. But with all 52 captures finally unlocked, I made my return to the Sand Kingdom to continue grinding Luigi's Balloon World. I still wasn't sure what Moon 68 was here, but I figured it would work itself out eventually. In the meantime, I popped balloons like nobody's business, reaching rank 26, then rank 29, and by the time I got to rank 34, I'd maxed out my coins. I treated myself to yet another little shopping spree at the Crazy Cat, purchasing Bowser's suit, the Lock Lady dress, and a golden Mario outfit. I feel like I love playing Balloon World because you think we're all like original people, and then you see that everybody just hides it in the same like 3 spots, and you're like, wow, life is a simulation, you know? With the space freed up in my wallet, I continued to pop balloons, rank up, and purchase ridiculously expensive costumes over and over and over again until I'd reached rank 43. And at this point, I thought it might be good to get to my other completionist goals, namely finishing up the Mushroom Kingdom. After running around aimlessly and collecting as many purple coins as I could, I greeted Peach, who'd returned from her world tour, and jammed out with this music toad who bestowed me with the New Donk City Festival 8-bit song. Wait, I think that's the last music track? 82 out of 82! Let's go. Huge progress. And having collected all the songs, it was back to the regional coin grinding and planting seeds in this toad's garden. Got old really fast, so I took a break to load up on some Mushroom Kingdom souvenirs and buy the classic Super Mario 64 outfit. Oh lord. Donning the original 3D Mario fit, I took on the rematch against, what was his name again? Ah, yes. Brigadier Mollusk Lancer III, Dauphin of Bablaine. Since it was raining, my Gushin was constantly hydrated, which meant I could really hose the guy, easily finishing him off for the second time. While I was on a roll, I felt like I might as well take on all the other boss rematches too. I was in the ring with Knucklotech, shooting down the Mecha Wiggler and snatching up another 2 multi-moons. And in the time I'd been fighting them, the seeds I planted earlier had grown, earning me even more moons. Once I'd completed some very outfit-appropriate areas, I changed back into my base form and then drained the entirety of Peach's moat just to reunite some Goombas. Seems kind of like a massive security risk for a very superfluous purpose, but hey, it's not my castle! Following a rematch against the Ruined Dragon, I continued to find and plant seeds in the garden. I love Gardener Toad saying he's proud of the garden, like, buddy, you planted the hedges. These 4 priceless moon-producing plants, that's me. I made this garden, buddy. With another Cookatiel defeat, I checked up on our progress, and although we were almost done with purple coins, I still had over 50 moons to collect, most of which were achievement moons. So after wrapping up things in the garden, which really just entailed honkshu memeing until the last flower bloomed, I headed to the throne room to speak with Toadette. And boy, did we speak for genuinely 10 minutes at the very least. Just moon after moon after moon. This is so many moons, Toadette. Where are you keeping all of these? You'd think Toadette could just offload the moons in bulk or package them up in multi-moons to make things faster, but no. Mario had to do his little spin and jump for each and every one, baby. And with power moons occupying a quarter of my screen, Toadette hit me with the I hope you achieve all your dreams! Guys, I'm so sorry. I think I already have. Literally, all that's left is to travel through a single warpole and collect 7 more stickers and souvenirs. The 3 remaining purple coins weren't much of a problem either, so with everything pretty much complete in Mushroom Kingdom, I loaded my bajillion moons into the Odyssey, and to my surprise, we've collected, let's see, 999 power moons. Wow, that's amazing. And that reminds me, there's a surprise waiting for you. Wait, head to Peach's castle. I was a little confused at first as to what this prize could be, since Peach was was back in her explorer's outfit, but had nothing useful to say or give me. But it became abundantly clear when I climbed to the top of the castle and found a massive top hat, triggering a little firework display. Is that it, though? No, it is nice. It's just, I just expect, when you say prize, that seems more of like a physical type of thing. No, it's okay. I'm fine. With my quote-unquote prize unlocked, I went around tying up loose ends. This entailed collecting the remaining purple coins and Shiveria and buying the souvenirs and costumes from every single crazy cap store. And while I was in Bowser's Kingdom... Is this the Snowdram painting? Oh, finally. Having traveled through that last warp hole and finished all of Snow and Sand Kingdom in their entirety, I headed back to the Mushroom Kingdom to speak with Toadette again, and thankfully this conversation was much shorter. The last Toadette Power Moon, and I think the last moon in the entire game. You're so accomplished. Thank you. Wait, we've got to put them in our Odyssey. The final moons. Oh my gosh. The golden sail. The Odyssey sail has turned gold. A new portrait of Bowser appeared in the wedding hall. I immediately booked it to the Moon Kingdom and approached the wedding hall to take on our final battle. Oh gosh. Is this it? Jumping into the painting, I came face to face with Hot Bowser. What? Sorry. Dapper Bowser once again. Are you trying to scare me with that totally scary costume? What? My nakedness? I think Mario and Bowser are like destined to be together. Maybe that's just me that thinks that, but why else would my nakedness be super scary to you? And just like last time, I put his big boxing hat on and got to punching, but honestly, things were much smoother this time around. I'm actually so much more proficient than the last time I did this battle. It's kind of satisfying and also scary because of like just the raw talent that I have, you know? Okay. Forget what I said. Forget. You're kidding. Okay, I just need to not die this time, which I have high hopes. I knocked Bowser out, commandeering his lifeless corpse, and then carried Peach to the surface of the moon and making it all the way to the spark pylon. There we go. Claiming victory over Bowser once again, we were truly in the home stretch now. With every moon, every regional coin, all 52 captures, every souvenir and sticker, and every soundtrack, there was just one thing left to do. Now I know what you're thinking. We've done it, we've 100%ed it, but no. There is one final thing we have to do, and that is get to rank 50 in Luigi's Balloon World game. My primary task was to find a total of 600 balloons. I'll have you know, this is genuinely like 8 hours of menial grinding condensed into 20 seconds of footage. And after spending far too much of my life popping balloons repeatedly in Sand and Cap Kingdom, slowly ranking up along the way, I finally found my final balloon, bringing me to rank 50. That's 800 balloons popped, over 1,000 attempts at finding the ones I hid, and a career total of 430,195 coins. What am I doing with my life? It was all worth it in the end, because my lazy but far less naked brother had gotten his 5 golden balloons. And using my immense fortune I'd accrued in Balloon World, I bought the last handful of costumes we had yet to get, and with the purchase of Spewart's blue suit, we had officially played 100% of Super Mario Odyssey. Well, that is all I have for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, consider checking out another one of my 100% videos. This one is another super fun Mario title, 10 out of 10, love that guy. And this one has Papa Louie in it, another very successful Italian man. They're both lots of fun, so I very much hope to see you guys there. Bye! Thank you so much for watching my video.